All right. Let's begin. So, um, so you, this is when I first thought about this idea of like a podcast.
Yes.
The first person I thought of was you, and a few other people,
Really? That's cool.
and and for that reason is because you did something that not too many people that I know at least like do.
Yeah. And what's that?
You basically took uh, like a leap of faith. You basically what you did was like I know you went to New Zealand first.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I bought a ticket and just left.
So tell me how that came up, or like how was that even an idea?
Since like high school, I learned about the 12 apostles. It's a beach. It's a coastline, a part of Australia, and it's just like the PCH down in California. And something just attracted me to it. These giant cliffs in the ocean, and I said, I got to go there someday. And eventually, I went to culinary school, finished that.
Yeah,
I
because
was
I
looking for more of a challenge, and then I worked and everything, saved up money. Well, I was like, what am I saving money for? And then I rethought about, I want to go to Australia. And for maybe a year or a year and a half, just try to convince anybody, a friend, a cousin, like, let's go for 2 weeks. And everyone was just says, no, I can't, I don't have money, I can't, it's crazy, blah, blah, blah. And then I was like, put it aside for a while. And then eventually, a friend who I met at my very first job, we still hung out even though I stopped working there after 2 years. And I tried to convince him, and he even told me no. And I was just like, damn, everybody told me no. I guess I'm gonna go on my own.
uh,
And he eventually broke up with his girlfriend because that's what was stopping him.
right.
And we used to hang out at the beach, have some drinks, some smoke, just chill out, talk about life. And one day he was just as um, like he thought about it. And then I told him, you know what? Like, give me an answer by the end of April. If you're gonna go, yes or no. Like, let me know because I'm gonna go on my fucking own. I, I got to do this.
Yeah.
And April came around and we were hanging out again. And finally, he was just like, let's do it. I broke up with my girlfriend, and let's go one way. I
That's
originally thought 2 weeks, and I was just
right.
like, oh, whoa, one way.
One
Uh,
way ticket. That's
Yeah, I was
crazy.
like, I never thought about that. I never
Yeah.
thought that far.
Yeah, he
And
was thinking to like the extreme, you know?
yeah, because he had just broken up with his girlfriend, so I think he was just looking for an outlet. And he
Yeah.
grew up different. He grew up a different lifestyle than I would say we grew up. He was
He
born.
didn't he didn't grow up here in
No,
Oxnard?
he grew up over in Temecula, near like Corona and going towards Coachella, that area, like the
Oh,
desert.
yeah, yeah, like Palm Springs.
Yeah, like going towards that area, Riverside, all that stuff. And but he's his family's from England, so he's British. He's just born here. I mean, raised here. He was born over there though. So I mean,
Okay.
I don't know. I think they have a different exposure on life, and it kind of rubbed off on me of him coming up with the idea of going one way because he said that's what his parents told him, like do this after high school. If my parent would have told me that shit, I would have done it, but
Yeah.
it's not a thought. It's not in Latino life. Like
Hell
go to
no.
school, go get a job, go become a doctor, become a lawyer, do this. And so when he finally said it, I was like, all right, give me a couple days to think about it. And I thought, what do I have to lose? Like I'm saving up money. I got this money. Why not do it? And so we're like we just set goals. We said, all right, by the end of September or October, something like that, we're gonna figure out where we're gonna go and where we're gonna land. And then we said by November we'll buy our plane ticket. And in between all this, he told his mom about it. I didn't tell anybody. He
Yeah, you
told
didn't
his
tell
mom.
anybody.
Yeah, he told his mom, which again she's British. And then she was like, "Oh, we have some distant family members in New Zealand." And then he eventually told me like, oh yeah, my mom mentioned we should just go to New Zealand. I got a family member saying that we can go to her house and stay at her farm. And I was just like, New
Wait,
Zealand? Where the
wait,
fuck is New Zealand? I don't know. All I know about it is New Zealand, like back when I watched Disney Channel, and I think they have people from other countries, and that's all I knew. I didn't know where it was, what the people look like, and anything. And I
yeah,
said again, like, what is there to lose? I'm ready for the next adventure. And so that's what we did. November came around, and we said, well, okay, we're gonna buy their ticket on this day, and we bought our ticket, and then we said, okay, we got by the mid-December, we're gonna apply for a visa, because then he started thinking about, they offer this visa, like let's get a visa. We don't need a visa to go, but you can get a visa, which is called a work and holiday visa, is what I always tell everyone I meet, anybody who I really connect with, like, hey,
yeah,
there's these opportunities that other countries offer that, and as a US passport holder, you get a free visa to go out and work, go out and explore in another country for
right.
free. You become a citizen, you open a bank account, you do your taxes, you get money back on your taxes.
Mm-hmm.
You can rent a house, you can do anything. And so like we applied for that visa, and then after that we said, oh, we want to go before Valentine's Day is what we said, because we were like, we're both single, we don't need to be here for that. And
Yeah.
so we did
Wait,
that.
what year was this? Because I'm trying to remember. Wasn't it like 2000? Was it like 14, 15?
2014, when I started coming up with the idea, we finally left in 2015 because we wanted to do our taxes and everything. We wanted to like get all that stuff out the way and just go with no worries, go with a little extra cash,
Right.
and then just go from there.
So initially, you guys first went to New Zealand.
Yeah, we landed in New Zealand first, so like that detoured my whole idea about what was the goal. And I was just like, yeah, she was gonna offer to pick us up, or can stay on her farm. Like, why not? And so
Right.
we looked up tickets. Yeah, we bought a ticket, $700 something dollars, and we actually bought it purposely stopping over in Fiji, just like because it was gonna be a 16-hour flight or something like that. And we're like, damn, that's a long time on a plane. And so we were looking at the layovers, and we're like, why not go explore another island while we get to our island? And we went to and
Yeah.
stopped in Fiji for 10 hours. And that was a
Yeah.
little cool trip as well. I mean, we went out and explored, hopped in a taxi. This guy took us to a market, a local market. He took us out to the beach, to like a temple. It was really cool. A little 10-hour experience.
Okay. So, but for the most part, how long did you stay in New Zealand for?
New Zealand. So got there February 2015, and then left. Originally, visas only for 1 year, so we were gonna leave in February. But then eventually, the job I got, the second job, they offered us a work visa, and a work visa lets you stay longer. And so I already had a ticket booked to Australia because that was the next goal, and
Right.
we ended up being able to stay longer in New Zealand. So we stayed an extra month. So I left New Zealand in the middle of March of 2016.
So off the bat, what what like stood out to you? Like what out of everything?
We,
You
just immediately, the kindness of the people, like, and the stars. The first night, so we got picked up, and to begin with, the sunset arriving into New Zealand. And again, we left, I remember exactly, February 10, 2015, left around 10 o'clock from LAX, arrived in New Zealand February 12th, around, I don't know, 7, 8 o'clock or so, maybe even 9, I don't know, somewhere around there though, definitely the evening. And we lost the day flying because you're going backwards in time or forward in time. I don't know what you call it, forward. So we like skipped the day. February 11th, 2015 did not exist for me. And what stood out was right away going in, the plane is ready to land, and there's this beautiful red sunset. And that was just something that kept happening throughout the time in New Zealand, just beautiful sunsets, beautiful sunrises. And then, like I said, right off the back, the kindness of the people. It was
So
sometimes as, am I in a movie? Why are they being so kind to me? Or
and
am I like, do I look different? Why am I in a movie? This is not real.
so when you mean kindness, like whenever like in public, they what do they tell you? Because um,
Well,
it's a whole
not well. It wasn't. Yeah.
because it's a
Continue.
whole different
Sorry.
story out here in USA. You know, fuck people out here, they're fucking dicks.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was the thing. That was the thing. It was kindness in the sense of people were looking out for you. We started off not necessarily in public because, like I said, we were in a farm. We were in a small town. The city from where we were, and the city is not even a quarter of the size of LA, you know? It's maybe the size of Oxnard, but with big buildings and whatnot, and that's the city. So for us, that was about a 40-minute drive, about 45-minute drive, and we didn't go there often with the family we were staying. We went there. They dropped. No, we didn't. They didn't even take us actually. They took us more to the outskirts stuff and whatnot. But like I said, so we were mostly around this family. We were there with them the first 3 weeks before we ventured out on our own. They lived in a rural area. They down a road, down another gravel road, and in their maybe 6 houses, and the 6 houses were in a property the size of like half of Oxnard or so. I don't know, something like that.
Right.
And all the neighbors were so nice. They joined us in on the first weekend. They had a barbecue for us, and then they were explaining the family who took us in. It was Rosa and Nigel. That was like my friend's sort of distant aunt and uncle, and they loved us. They were happy to have somebody come and stay, and like I said, they were wondering like what we wanted to do, what we were after, and so we were like immediately wanting to work, just get back to life there, because it wasn't as, oh, I'm gonna go for a few weeks and just go see the touristic stuff. It was, I want to be a local. I want to become part of the community. I want to be a New Zealander, and they call
Right.
themselves Kiwis. I wanted to become a Kiwi. I
Good.
wanted to experience something else, not just oh, I went to New Zealand and saw this.
So you consider
And so,
yourself
like I said,
a Kiwi, or what was it?
yeah, Kiwi, yeah, definitely. When I left California and arrived in New Zealand, I didn't feel sad at all. I didn't miss family.
Yeah.
There was times where I was like, damn, I wish I had this family member with me right now and we can experience it and they would love this.
Yeah.
It was more like, I'm here, enjoy the moment. And eventually when I left New Zealand to Australia, the first few days, I think I was sad and depressed. Like, I was like, damn, I just left my home. It was
Yeah.
just a whole nother feeling. But back to about the kindness. So the neighbors, one of the neighbors right next door, she was a vet, and the guy, he was a joinery. He had his own joinery, which they make cabinets, doors, like anything with wood. And he offered us a job. He's like, 2 days into being there, they're like, you can come to work with me. We'll pick you up, be ready at 6 a.m. And then he buys us lunch, he buys us breakfast, he pays us cash. And it was like, damn, what the heck? This does not happen in Oxnard. This is
Uh-uh.
not real. Like, is this all a joke? What is going on?
Yeah. No.
Then Nigel, the guy who was hosting us as well, he used to be part of the military, and he was born in England, and then he moved to New Zealand. The wife, Rosa, she was born in New Zealand. She lived all her life. They were like in their 50s, and he
Because
was basically a veteran. And the veterans out there, they have their own pubs, their own bars, and they go out and hang out there. And once a week they open up the kitchen. And then over there we told them like, oh, I'm a chef, my friend is a chef, and
right.
do you want to work here? And it was like, all right, there's another job. Wow, what the heck? 1 week in, I already got 2 jobs.
So once you land there, they got you set.
Mm-hmm.
But didn't you, what was it like in a little college? like a little cottage that you were staying in, or?
Yeah, a cottage. Yeah, just a little, basically a little trailer. It was real simple. There was two beds, a little kitchen setup. There was a stove, a sink, a little mini fridge. Also,
Right.
they hooked the fridge up too. They had milk in there. They had some meat, some cheese, some crackers, like bread, peanut butter. They love their Marmite. You got to look into what Marmite is or Vegemite. I forgot which one they like, but that shit is. I tried it a few times. It's not good.
Um,
But yeah, like I said, that was like the kindness off the back. How often do you go to a place and they never asked us for money? They did have a farm, and they raised cattle. They were just beginning to sort of start in that. Like they were retired, and that was going to be part of their retirement, was
right,
making money doing that. And
right.
so we would help them. We would, like, right away, we're like, what do you need help? What do you want us to do? And so they saw we were willing to do anything as well. And that's what later on, throughout the whole trip, that's what helped us was, oh, you don't need to even tell me. I already doing something you probably said you wanted to do and you don't have time for. And I'm here and you're, I got time. I don't have nothing to lose. I got you. And that's what it was. They saw that we were willing to do it. That's what really helped us.
That's so dope. So was it wasn't until Australia where you got the little where you were living in, the little it was like a little bus, not a bus, but it was like a little
No,
mini.
no, 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 no. So actually, nah, so that happened in New Zealand and Australia, yeah. So it was a Toyota Hiace, 1993, the same year I was born.
I remember you were always talking about it, saying, "Oh man,
Yeah,
I
man.
miss it,"
That
because
was
something happened. I forget what you told me, but something happened in that Toyota. But we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Yeah. So yeah, 3 weeks. So yeah, like right off the back again, they're like, "Oh, what's your plan?" So Rosa and Nigel, again, the people hosting us, they had a daughter. They had a daughter and a son. We never met the son, but the daughter lived on the property as well in their own house. She had a husband named Byron, and they had two kids. And there were two kids that they enjoyed our company as well. Like again, we'll play with the kids. We'll go work on the farm. They had sheep. They had chickens. Like, you need the grass cut, we got you. And then another neighbor, he had horses or used to have horses, and so he had a whole horse track. No, he did have horses, three of them. And I'd go jogging around the horse track and like just to I don't know. I like going jogging, and that was a cool thing for me. But anyway, so Byron, he was also good with cars, good with mechanic, and we told him, Ben told him, my friend Ben is the one again that I met in California. We went traveling together, and he explained about, oh, we want to buy a van and travel New Zealand. New Zealand is not a big country. It's, you can do it all and hit the like high points, and you can do it all in 2 weeks if you really wanted to.
Mhm.
And he explained like, oh, we want to buy a van, and throughout the whole time I thought, we'll only be there for about 6 months. I took $6,000, and that'll last me 6 months. And then he brought up the idea of buying a van, and I was just like, yeah, I didn't really think too much about it. I didn't really think far more than where is New Zealand. I didn't even look it up. I didn't look up anything. I just wanted to jump into the deep water, and without any idea, just I was ready to go into the unknown.
Yeah.
And yeah, he brought up the idea. He did some investigation before, and then so he came up with the idea of buying a van, and I was just like, yeah, why not? I mean, we can sell it eventually.
Yeah.
And Byron, he showed us the equivalent to Craigslist. So we were there online searching for vans and whatnot. We went about a week searching. Then he was like, "Oh, there's this car show, which not really a car show like you might think. It's more as everybody goes there and sells their used cars." And we were walking around half an hour, and eventually we saw this van, and it was like by other German backpackers, and they were selling it. It had a name on it. It came with the name already. It was Dorothy. It had skulls in the front. We opened up the door. It had a nice king size bed, a kitchen built in there, space to cook in there, a little like a lock chest, and it was like, damn, everything's working out. And then Byron, we had looked at other vans too. We had our eyes set on another one, but this one was bigger. It was like perfect for two guys because we need some space. We're not. And then he checked the oil. We drove it around. And also in New Zealand, you drive on the opposite side of the road, and you drive on the opposite side of the steering wheel.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
the steering wheel and the road.
Oh, fuck.
So that was a cool thing, and yeah, we drove it around. Byron, the guy, he said mechanically wise, it's good. There was a fishy smell in there. They said they had just went fishing. That was one thing that turned me away. Like it smelled a little bit like fish, but overall we're like, I think this is the van, and yeah, we they were asking, I don't know, like 3,000 something, and we were like, all right, we'll give you 2,700. And we had like a Kiwi guy with us. You know, we're two outsiders, but we have a local. And so the guys were like, all right. And as soon as we were buying it from them, checking it out, they had their third friend because that's what they needed to sell it. They needed a car with 3 seats.
Right.
And as we're trying to like negotiate, here comes the friend with the car. They just bought a car because they know they're about to get money. And that was so awesome. Like we bought a car off them and they just bought a car off someone else. And we both drove in our new cars to the post office. So you over there, you go register your car at the post office. And guess how long you wait in line?
Like 5 minutes?
Yes. And 5 minutes because you're filling out the paper. There's nobody. It's like so easy. Everything, another thing that stood out, the simplicity. Everything's so simple. It's like
no cars.
why? Yeah, no cars. Everything's easy. Like there's no bullshit. You know, like I don't know how to explain really because you got to experience it as, okay, you need to buy a car, you need to sell a car, or you need to go register your car. You go to the post office, fill out one piece of paper, the other person just signs in, and that's it.
Yeah.
Like you don't need both the people there. Opening a bank account. All right, you want to open a bank account? Just give us your equivalent to social security number. Boom, that's it.
Yeah.
You want a phone? All right. Where you just choose the company you want. You just show up there and you have a phone.
Right. So you guys ended up traveling with that Toyota, the little minivan.
No, it was not a minivan because minivans are what you get. It was a van. I learned what is a minivan and what's a van. This thing was long. Later on in our life there in New Zealand, we packed 13 adults, 13 people in our van. I don't know what route you're going on, but we were hotboxing our van. We had 4 sections of people. The front seat people could not see the back people because we had a bed. We didn't have back seats, so everybody was like sitting crisscross. And it was like, hey, how's it going back there? You want a pit of this one? Like, you know, and you just pass it down. And oh my, that thing. Talk about clouds in a thunderstorm. That cloud was big in our van.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and so yeah, we bought that van in March. And like I said, we were 3 weeks there. We bought the van. We had it for about a few days, and before we bought the van, we were painting the house of Rosa and Nigel, the people we're staying with, because again, we have nothing else to do, and we're just offering help. And it was like on the radio talking about a festival. It was called Sunday's Festival, and it was happening in 2 weeks or something like that. And we're like, ooh, we remembered it. It stayed in our head. Because after 2 weeks, we're like, this is really fun, but where's the people our age? We need people our age. And eventually we heard about this festival. We bought a van, and so we said, guess where we're going on the weekend? To this fucking festival. And
Was it like
and
a
when I went, it was a music and arts festival.
what kind of was it like the type of music you showed me, like the Odessa and all that?
Sort of, but more indie, as in a little bit, not necessarily like them, but along the same lines. It was more along, yeah, more along that line. You don't hear the stuff on the radio, yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, we went out there, and it was awesome. We met people our age. We uh, we met some locals as well who were part of the festival, and they showed us about this water hole, and I got a video on YouTube about it. And you walk through this, it's an old gold mining tunnel, and they blasted a tunnel, and then the water goes in there, and you're just walking through darkness for about 4 or 5 minutes, and all of a sudden you're at a water hole. And it's so awesome, it's
What
incredible. Like, I don't know how to explain visually, but you literally, you're walking on a trail, and all of a sudden there's a little creek, and then that little creek leads to a tunnel, maybe, I don't know, 3 feet by 3 feet. So you got to duck down when you walk in there, and you just walk. There's no light. It's because it's so long that it's dark, you don't see the light at the end of the tunnel, and you're just walking, and you eventually, like I said, it it leads to a water hole. And again, locals took us. Some locals we connected with at this festival. And then as well, like we made it to the one, and they're like, you want to go to the other water hole? And again, it was another tunnel. That it was really, really cool.
what was the name of the YouTube channel? I want.
My on my YouTube channel is under my email, I believe, or even in my name, Nelson Jacobo. And then the email is Nelson Jacobo, so Jacobo 11 at yahoo.com. And it's called Kiwi Life. Because if you search Kiwi Life, it starts to show you kiwi animals and stuff. So
Yeah.
I don't have too
Yesterday.
many views, but I made a little video with my GoPro, and I need to make more because I have so many great videos, and
You have to, and
um,
because I was
it
trying
takes a
to.
lot of time.
I get you. Yeah, I know what you mean. But I was trying to look through. Because I remember when you first left, you were sending me like blogs.
It's in the
So I'm like,
freezer.
oh, I'm gonna check out the
Oh
blog.
yeah.
I'm gonna check them out because
Turn the light. Turn the light.
but what had ended up happening was something about you guys had like closed the website or something.
Oh yeah.
So
I
I
did that
couldn't.
recently. So you must have gone on recently.
I literally just got on like a couple days ago. I think yesterday
Oh
or the day before.
yeah, yeah. I shut it down. You know, I went through a relationship, and I
Nah,
don't
so
know. Yes. So I don't know. I also, though, even before all that, because I wrote most of it. My friend Ben also wrote some posts, and and I don't know. I just kind of want to even before the relationship, I wanted to rebrand myself on my own.
right, I get
Like
what you.
before it was Ben and and I just wanted to do something on. I still have all the posts. I still have everything. I can reopen it. I should reopen it so you can check it out, and maybe the viewers can check it out as well.
Yeah,
But I don't know. I still to this day I kind of want to rebrand myself to emphasize more on who I've become and what I learned throughout my trip, and then rewrite it again in a sense of now coming back to the U.S., talking about my experiences, and also sharing photos that people can see that it's not that difficult, because coming from a Latino family, you don't have those really opportunities as much as other people. We, like I said, we get told, like, go to school, go get a job, you got to become this, you got to become that. You can't go back to where I came from because it's dangerous, this and that. And it says, for me, I look at it as my dad and your dad are brothers. They came to this country without being from here.
yep,
Now we're born here, we have a US passport, so
yep.
take on that opportunity, take on that, whatever you can do with it, you do it. And that's my mindset. That's what fuels me going. Like, not only did I go to Australia, New Zealand, while I was in Australia, I went to Indonesia, Malaysia, Brunei. the island of Borneo, all that because it was nearby. I went to Fiji. I had a layover in China. I didn't explore, but I went there. Now I've been back in the U.S. I got to Puerto Rico. I went to go explore Mexico. I went to go explore where my mom's family comes from. Like, it's
I love
just constantly. Yeah, I went to El Salvador recently.
it. Hmm.
I got a ticket to go to Costa Rica in November. Let's see if I go. I don't know. I just bought it because I needed to use some points. Otherwise, they were going to expire. But it was just like, why not go? And I went to El Salvador on my own.
Yeah.
And now I feel like I can do anything on my own. I gone to festivals here in just in Tennessee. I went to one 2 years ago by myself, and that was the first time I really did something by myself. And my traveling experience put me out there, made me wanna. Because my personality was shy before, so I put myself out there. I wanted to get to know people, really, like I said, be part of the community, be part of the locals. I wanted to become local. I didn't just want to be somebody traveling. And
Yeah.
so
And for the young listeners, like coming out of high school, you don't need to get a job. You don't need to get that new car. You don't need to get that you know new shirt. You know,
exactly.
I think based off my experiences, Junior's experiences, um, I think you should just go out and experience. Go out place,
Exactly that.
go meet new people. Not just
That
here in the
yes.
United States. Or yeah, you can like leave the states, but just experience.
And that's what I try to anybody I really connect with here, I always tell them. I don't always bring up my travels. I don't always like tell them what I did because I like to let it come out on its own naturally.
Naturally,
Let them that connection, and so really connect. And eventually, when I do, I always explain to them, like, hey, what are you doing now? Like, you're working here, yeah, cool, and whatnot. But you could be going elsewhere. You can go out and explore and experience in New Zealand of people from the US doing the same thing my friend and I were doing
mhm.
was less than a handful, less than 5 fingers, less than five
you're,
people.
you're probably, if not the only one, like the only person probably I know that's done something like this. Like it's crazy what you did.
Yeah,
Like you don't see that often. You don't
yeah,
hear,
exactly. And I
especially
was the only, yes,
especially coming out of Oxnard.
exactly. And coming from a Latino, like, for me, it's always now being back and what I've experienced because there was no Latinos really traveling.
Nope.
I didn't really speak much Spanish for 2.5 years, and when I did, it was people from Argentina, and the people I met from Argentina, I learned as well that they're from Argentina, but they have an Italian passport because their bloodline comes from Italy, and so
Hmm.
they got more opportunities than a natural born Argentino. You get what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a good experience, a good eye-opening experience, and something that I always like trying to inspire into young people I meet here. Anybody, like you said about high school people, like while you're in high school, yeah, find a job so you can save money and you can do your own thing and just have experience because you go out there and you speak English because
Hmm.
New Zealand and Australia you speak English there. So if you speak English, you already have a heads up against other travelers because other travelers are coming from Europe. There's so many Italians, so many Germans, so many French people coming to those countries and they're working jobs that most people don't want to work or jobs that are really backbreaking, and that's not a bad thing, but a lot of them do it because they don't feel comfortable about their English. But I met them and I speak English to them, and a lot of them is as they just don't have the confidence to go and apply for another job. For
So
example,
so oh, tell
yes.
me, go ahead.
For example, I worked at a ski resort for the winter season because the seasons are opposite there. So you know, summertime here is wintertime there, and we left in February, so it was fall when we got there, and eventually became winter. Worked at a ski
Uh-huh.
resort, and after the ski resort was as I wanted to try to do this, you know, backbreaking job. I want to go pick cherries. I want to go work on a farm because you can make a lot of money. It's all about how fast you can pick. So you're betting on yourself. I felt confident enough that I can pick cherries, but never got any response back. Never heard back from any farms. But yet other friends of mine that were from other countries, they got callbacks, and it was just like, okay, I guess it's not meant to be. So I was online and applying to everything, applying because I wanted to try different things. I went to work. I went to school as a chef, been working as a chef, but I wanted to try something different.
So
And
try so so talking about trying out different things. I want to know what was the movement that you were doing with the free tacos.
that, yeah,
That
that
was
happened later on.
that was
That
so after.
happened in late 2016, early 2017. Yeah, that happened later on in Australia, and that was a goal after living in New Zealand and experiencing what experienced. 6 months into living there, I turned vegan. I didn't know what veganism was. I knew what vegetarian was, but I really didn't know, you know, like, okay, you're vegetarian, so that probably means you don't eat meat and stuff. But I never
Right.
met anybody who was vegetarian. And then I went traveling. I met a couple vegetarians. I lived with a vegetarian. And then it was like, oh, you know, maybe when I get back home, I'm going to try that for a little bit. Like, I have self discipline. I can do that. David. And then started watching a whole bunch of documentaries, and eventually it led about global warming, and the best thing you can do is change your diet.
Mhm.
So I was living in this town of Wanaka, New Zealand for about 6 months, and I knew I was gonna go somewhere else. And I told myself, oh, I want to try this because this documentary said if you try veganism for 12 weeks, you feel the ultimate difference in your body.
And is it
And
true?
oh yeah, man. And after just 2 weeks, I felt a difference. So that's why it was so easy to get to 12 weeks, and then it was so easy to now being 5 years on it because it's just I felt high off of life. I'm telling you, in the first week, I feel, you know, there's that movie Bubble Boy. There's a bubble around everybody in my thinking, and I felt my bubble just radiated positivity, excitement, just enlightenment, and just ready to take on any challenge.
Right.
And that would just happen in 1 week. In 1 week. Then started working at a new job. Like I said, went and applied at the cherry farm. They told me no one responded. And eventually applied to everything else, and I got a response from a winery talking about being a supervisor manager in the kitchen, and I was like, whoa, I'm
Uh-huh.
living in another country. I can work in a kitchen, but do I have what it means to be a manager and stuff? And
Yeah.
then I was like, what do I have to lose? Again, what do I why not try? Why not explore the opportunity? And did a Skype interview with the manager. Everything went well, and then I just explained to him. He's like, yeah, when can you start? And eventually I told him, oh, you know, well, actually I'm traveling with a brother, because after a while Ben was not only my friend, I felt like he was also my brother. And and then he's like, oh yeah, tell him, what is he, does he work? I told him he's a chef as well. He's like, all right, we just hired somebody else, but we can make a room for him, and just tell him to Skype interview me tomorrow. He did a Skype interview with him, and soon that was our next destination. And that's when we left our town to that job to become, and we became vegan on that way. And at that job there was a gardener and a garden that we had to use veggies and fruits from. And the
Mhm.
guy, he had a passion for it. So you tasted, I hated tomatoes all my life. I tried one
Really?
of his, and it was just like, whoa, this is delicious. What have I
Uh-huh.
been missing? And it just went up after that. My birthday came 2 weeks after changing over. We went to this lodge. Like, you had to take a water taxi because we're on an island again. We took a water taxi, maybe half an hour, to another part of the island. You just hang out there. They have a lot of hammocks, hamacas, You just chill out. You can buy food at the restaurant, but we took our own food because we like to save money and waste it on important things.
Like
And
weed and and
drinks.
yeah, I know what you
Yeah.
mean.
Like we can go home and cook our own food that would be way better and way cheaper than buying food at a restaurant.
Right.
I think we only bought fries from there because we love fries. Uh, and so we did take weed with us. We were smoking, chilling, and then we're like, let's go on the kayak. So we went on the kayaks. We were on there for about half an hour, and we were out in the ocean, but along close to an island. And
Uh-huh.
then all of a sudden, we're going back to where we came from, and we see like a fin coming up and out the water. We also see a bunch of people on the dock. We see a yacht that was not there before, and we're wondering, why is everybody on the dock? Why is everybody outside? And then we're looking and we see the dorsal fins and we're like, what the fuck is that? And then eventually we realize, it's they're orca whales. It was a pod of orca whales. And it
Whales?
was, yeah, whales. It was four of them. And we're the only people in the ocean. There's a yacht, but the people are on a big old boat. And we're there on kayaks. Two
Oh,
different,
so
and we started going close to them. We're like, let's speed up, let's get to them. And
uh,
eventually I get close to them, maybe, I don't know, 6 feet or so, 10 feet. And then when I really got close to them, I seen how big, because the water is clear. And I was like, I saw the baby, and the baby was bigger than my kayak. And I started going backwards because I got a little scared. I know they're friendly to humans, but that's a scary, when you see an animal that big.
yeah, you get
But
into
yeah, eventually though, before I even took two strokes backwards, all of them took a deep dive underneath and they popped out past
no
my friend.
way.
Yeah, and we tried to go really fast and catch up to them, but we couldn't catch up to them. And a whole nother like crazy side story is that, so that day, like, we started working at the job. I was 2 weeks into working there. My friend hadn't started working yet. And
Uh-huh.
then eventually we got really close to everyone because they're like, whoa, these two California guys, they're really cool. They cooked the food, like everybody loved us.
Yeah.
And we're just like so carefree, but we did our shit, and I don't know, everybody loved our positivity. But eventually one of the ladies who works in the office, we were talking after having some drinks, and then she's like, yeah, I was at the lodge when the whales came by, and we're like, we were too. And we're like, we were in the kayaks. We were like, oh, that was you guys in the kayaks. So we had like future coworkers that witnessed us there, and then like we were just we were just killing time, celebrating my birthday. And that was really cool to know that one of my future coworkers was at the same place, but she was over there on the dock, and I was in the water.
Do you still talk to them every now and then? Like, you still talk to them?
I still have so I don't have Facebook, I don't have social media. I got to rework on opening up an Instagram. Um, Pardon?
Don't you have Instagram?
I used to have, again, but I had it with my friend, and I logged out of it and haven't logged back in. I want to I want to rebrand myself. I haven't came up with the right. I don't know. I think it'll come soon. When I do have it, I'll let you know, and can let
Well,
the listeners, viewers know.
if you need help, just let me know. I can help you
Yeah.
with that.
All right. I just want to come up with some sort of catchy. I know people have short.
Yeah, you gotta make it simple. Don't make it too
Yeah.
complicated.
Yes. And yeah, so I would get people's emails. I never had Facebook since never.
Uh-huh.
So when I started traveling, I would get people's emails because once you travel from one country to another, your phone number no longer exists.
Right.
So I get emails, and yeah, I stay connected with some. I send them out an email. I don't get an email back right away, but I got a few emails I need to like respond back to because I connected with some people, a lot of people, and yeah, we traded, exchanged emails, and good people, good positive people. I was just talking to my friend the other night about how I met some people, and they would like live with us or whatnot, and they saw how my friend and I cook. We will cook our food, and after one of us is done chopping, one is already cooking, and the other one is starting to wash the dishes. So in the end, when the food's ready, there's not even dirty dishes. It's just serve it on a plate and let's eat. And we did it in such like harmony. We smoked our joint as well before, and it was just like meditation for us. And people saw that, and maybe they thought of it as like, I want to be like that. I want to get to that level. So a lot of times people would want to cook with us, and we're like, but we don't cook meat, and they're like, that's fine. I want to eat like you. And there was this. I was telling my friend the other night. I live with this Taiwanese, and the Taiwanese, she just moved into our house, and we offered her food because it was like her first night. It was already dinner time, and it was like, here's some food, like relax. Then the next day or the second day, she offered us some food, and when she offered it to us, it had meat in it. I was just like, felt really bad. It's like, oh, sorry, I don't eat meat. Thank you very much though. And then a couple days later, she cooked up some food that didn't have meat in it, and she cooked like that before, but without thinking, that, oh, it's vegan. And she was wondering, why do we eat like this and whatnot. But eventually she respected it. And like I said, I stay in contact email wise. And when I got back to the US, because I met her in 2017, early 2017, and she sent me an email talking about she went to another town, she took a dip into this river, and she felt reborn again, and she was vegan. And this is a Taiwanese, this is an Asian person. They eat a lot of meat, a lot of everything. And it was like, wow, I inspired. And she's not the only one. I had other friends like they emailed me. They're like, oh, I became vegetarian. Became vegan. And it's like, that's awesome, because I never put it on anyone. I never tell anyone I'm vegan to begin with. Unless you offer me food, I'm just like, I can't eat it because blah blah blah.
Right.
Yeah. So they see sort of the presence I try to give, because I just want to give everyone. I just want to. I just trying to be happy. In that,
Right.
in the end, I just trying to be like fulfill
Internally,
life.
right.
Take every experience like there's no other one, and so you make everything, you make the most out of it.
So, um, for somebody, so what's your diet, or like what do you eat in a day? Like since you're vegan.
So it changes, it varies sort of. Sometimes I'll eat a good breakfast, sometimes I won't eat breakfast, I'll just eat a fruit, but I guess
Mhm.
that's breakfast as well. I mean, I always drink water. I've been drinking water before I was vegan. I've been drinking water since,
Yeah, we
I
we
don't
got
know.
like 10 years at
Yeah,
least.
yeah, at
10.
least 10 years. And before I also turned vegan, before I left California, so this is pre 2015, I stopped eating McDonald's, then I stopped eating fast food. So I think that's what made becoming vegan easier. Um, but yeah, so like a day I'll start off with a smoothie, a shake, something like that. But depending, like today I ate some oatmeal, some avena, and I'll just boil water, put it into the oats. Sometimes I'll use milk, but I mean I don't always have the milk because I don't crave it really. And
Mhm.
I'll put some jam or some peanut butter, some spice like cinnamon, hemp seeds, chia seed, flax seeds, something like that, some nuts or dried fruit or some granola on top of my oats, and that's good enough. That'll fill me up for a while.
So you're
And
good
lunch,
for the day?
not the whole. I mean, I can, but then lunchtime comes around, and that's where I like to eat more, like lunchtime, dinner time. And if I'm by myself, I just easily saute some veggies. I always love starting off with garlic, onion to begin with. Anything garlic and onion. That's like go to. After that, if I got some mushrooms, go mushrooms. Um, yeah, mushrooms are one of my favorites. All kinds of different mushrooms, even the magic ones.
I bet
We-
you got some stories for that too.
oh yeah, man.
So
Some
we'll save that for another day.
Yeah, some tomato. I love cooking with chile. I do have Mexican in me, so I love that spice. So I'll do that. I'll saute that stuff, eat it with a tortilla, and be simple.
But
But if I'm,
you get
yeah,
creative.
I do. But that's when I have company. That's when I have like friends around, and then that's when I really love to show what I can do, because you can do
Okay.
so much. So there's this pesto pasta is what I call it, that I've created. I made my own recipe. I mastered it. And so to begin with, I start off with a lot of cilantro, like maybe 2 bunches of cilantro, a little bit of basil or some other greens, some spinach or whatever, just to add more greens into it. Add some cashews. It's called nutritional yeast. I also love cumin. I love onion powder, garlic powder, paprika, a bit of cayenne, salt, pepper, obviously. You put that all in there. Then you put a little bit of oil, maybe about a cup of oil. Just blend it, blend it, blend it, blend it. It'll become like a chunky paste. So you got that.
Uh,
Then, like I said, you go with your veggies. What do you want in your pasta? I love mushrooms. I love onions. I love garlic. I love broccoli, cauliflower. If you want that, you do that. Brussels sprouts. I don't know. Just whatever you see on sale. Really, too, is what I go for. Whatever in season. Some zucchini, squash, something like that. Not
yeah.
potatoes, because pasta and potato is not good for you. And so yeah, so saute all that, season that, salt and pepper. Once it's going, you also have the pasta going, have the pasta ready, cooked, set aside. You add the paste into there, add 2 cans of coconut milk or a can, depending how many you are. You mix that up. It starts to become like liquid, like a sauce. Then
Uh,
you add the pasta into there, and
uh,
and then you just make sure it's nice and seasoned. You check for the salt and pepper as the final touch. And oh my goodness, I've given it to people that don't eat meat, that say they love meat, they have to have meat, and they're never upset about it that there's no meat. They go back for 2 bowls, 3 bowls.
well,
I
that's
cooked this in Australia for one of my landlords. He's a meat lover. He was the first one to finish his plate. He's an older guy too, an older Australian guy. Loves meat. Again, he was the first one to finish his plate, and he went back for 3 bowls. He ate 3 bowls of this. And
so
it's like, damn, respect.
that's crazy. Um, so for people like me or anybody who wants to go vegan or just try it, um, they don't have to go like buy shit. They could just eat fruit,
Yeah, yeah.
um,
I
drink
don't even.
smoothie.
Yeah, I try not to get a lot of the imitation stuff. I very rarely use like tofu and stuff.
Yeah, I was about to tell you that. Like, you ever use tofu?
I mean, I rarely use it. Um, I don't know. I
'Cause-
feel like the texture and the flavor is just bland. So it's whatever you want to give it. I feel
Right.
it's good if you got to saute it, get a crispiness on the side, and then you add it to whatever you're gonna use it. Because if you add it into your dish, it's gonna stay soft, and
Mhm.
and it's just like it's just a piece of nothing that you eat. So I like to cut it up in nice triangles. I cut it slice it long ways, and then I make those into triangles. Put a little bit of oil on the pan and get those crispy on each side and set that aside. And so once all the veggies are good, you throw that in with the veggies. So that way the tofu has texture as well.
Yeah, I've seen because on the IG, I think it's called something photosynthesis or something.
Yeah, the photosynthesis tacos.
I seen some of the plates. I don't know if you made them or
Hmm?
your friend cooked them. I'm not sure who it was, but
No,
they
I
look
cooked
bomb.
all the food on there. Oh, I cooked.
They look bomb.
Yeah. So what I shared with him on there was all the taco stuff, and so the base of it was the photosynthesized tacos. And again, for me, I came up with photosynthesized 3 days into being vegan. It was as photosynthesize is the process of photosynthesis. So you take, like a plant, you take in the sunlight and produce energy. You don't need an animal.
Hmm.
You need what takes in the sunlight and get energy from it. A plant takes in that energy. The plant, you just You pick a piece off of the plant could keep growing.
Hmm.
So, so again, that's why I want to like rebrand. Nothing against him, but I mean, we're not traveling together anymore. I kind of want to, and I'm also Latino. He's not, and I as more as I evolve into the person I am, I learn more about my culture. I learn about my family history. I learn about the native people here. There was no cows. There was no chickens. There was no, you know, eggs. There's no a lot of what people are eating nowadays. There were turkeys. There's no goat. There
Hmm.
was like wild pigs, like, but there was not pigs as we know it. There was no bacon like we know it. And I don't even know if there was wild boar. Maybe I'm making that up. I got a book about it. But so there's none of that. They a lot of corn, a lot of squash, potatoes, chiles, tomato. Like our bodies can quinoa. That's another one. People
I've
make
heard
fried rice. I like I like making fried quinoa. People call it quinoa. I like to call it quinoa. Um, so instead of using rice, that's another thing. Rice is not good for our bodies. Like for me, I feel I have more native blood than sort of European blood. I did my ancestry thing, and so I also learned as well. I took away bread out of my diet for a while as well, and I learned that bread makes my stomach feel very bloated. Like I don't like the feeling. That's beyond being vegan. It's just and being vegan, you start to realize, oh, my body doesn't like this. Oh, my body doesn't like that.
right.
So that's something I learned and I really enjoy about being vegan of learning that your body communicates with you. It's just whether you want to listen to it or you just keep covering it up with all that greasy, dirty stuff that we don't need. Also,
Right.
like going out and buying snacks. You buy a snack that's produced in a factory, and in the end, you have a piece of plastic. Where are you gonna throw it? It's trash. And what trash? The plastic's not gonna disappear. You pick a
Right.
veggie off the tree, off the plant. It's alive. So that's my what I appreciate. And again, I later looked more into it, looked more into sort of my family ancestry and why I appreciate my conversion now even more than when I originally did it.
Mhm. That's dope. So we're coming up to like an hour. Um,
Yes.
I don't think we can go that longer because I don't have the full subscription. But
How
I
long does it
wanna.
get up to go? How long does it go up to?
I'm not even sure to be honest. I don't even know.
Well,
But
whatever points you want to hear, like ask me some questions. I know I've been talking a lot, but I mean, again, I just try to inspire people, inspire Latino people. That's kind of what I want to rebrand myself in some sort of inspiring the Latino generation because on one side of my family, my mom, she's born in the U.S. to a Mexican family.
mhm,
I'm born on my dad's side, coming from an El Salvador immigrant. So, and you're the same way. You accept your mom and dad are both on for your first generation on both sides. So it's a thing that I get to see when working in the kitchen. A lot of Latino, almost all of them are Latinos in kitchens. That's where I work in, and so they see me and they're like, oh, he looks a little different. And even them, they think I'm different because I look native. I look like I'm a Native American. And in
and
reality,
you've always got that
yeah,
because of
and
your hair, your dark.
yeah,
You don't
and
look.
that's the thing too that my grandma on my mom's side, they're Mayan descent. That's Native American. They're from this continent before the Spanish came. People down in Chile, people down in Paraguay, Uruguay, Argentina, Colombia, like the native people, they're Native American. The people in the Amazonas, they're Native Americans. People in Alaska, they're Native Americans. And so So like sometimes I come across Latino people and they think I don't speak Spanish because I look I don't look so much Mexican. I don't look white. I don't. They're just wondering what the fuck I am from. And that's the
And you
thing
lie,
I came to.
and tell the truth. You say, "Oh, I'm from Hawaii," or "I'm from."
Yeah, yeah. I used to mess with people like that. At the yeah. Now
So
I just say I'm just a product of the world because like, what does it matter? I'm here. I'm just here. My presence is here, and that's who I am. And if you fuck with that, you fuck with that. If you don't, all right. Time to
exactly,
move on, and I can go find somebody else to chat with, and
exactly,
find inspiration and maybe inspire them because I find inspiration of all people. Some people I get along with, some people I don't. And that's another thing I learned in life and working before I even left. Like there's people I got along with at work. There's people who I didn't really like their work ethic. I didn't really like, them in general because they're a certain way. But I always took it as a lesson. I always took it as that's that's who I want to be or that's who I don't want to be. And of all ages too, I always came across every kind of age of people. I came across people with kids my age and I got along with them so well. And then I meet their kids and I'm like, ooh, what are you? Like I don't shit, we're the same age and I'm like, I don't know. I don't know, like your mom? Yeah, I fuck with them. Your dad? Oh, yeah, I fuck with them. Well, you like, whoa.
yeah,
It's that sort of, they're that first generation. And again, in the Latino upbringing, you you either get one or the other sort of, you get the people who do as you want to do, or you get that part where it says you got to become a doctor, a lawyer, blah blah
yep.
blah.
You gotta go
And
to
so
school. You gotta get an education.
yeah,
You gotta finish college.
yes. And then you got also sort of the side of the kids who are as, you know, fuck life, I'm doing whatever the fuck I want. Or also my parents are working their asses off, so I'm gonna do the same and do everything I can to help them out because I come across that too and I'm like, damn, your kids are doing that. That's respect. Like
Yeah, like my dad. Till this day, my dad tells me, "Hey, like, are you still in school? Are you still planning to go to college?" And I told him, "Nah, I don't want to go to college." I said, "Fuck that! I don't need it. I don't want it.
yeah.
I can get my education off other, successful people, off books,
Yes.
off people like you. I could learn things,
Yeah,
good
and
things."
yeah, and that's what it is. If you're willing to learn, then you're willing to get better and achieve greatness without having to go. I went to school. I'm still paying that shit off. It gave me great opportunities. Like I got to go work at the Golden Globes. That's another thing in my life that happened all before I even went traveling, and that
Yeah,
was a great experience. That's something I learned a lot. And my work ethic. That's another thing I learned from my upbringing. Like Latinos, they have a majority have this amazing work ethic that they keep going, and sometimes it's abused by their employers
right.
because they work so great and they're willing to do everything. And
Mhm.
that's one thing I always tell people of the raza, like don't let them take advantage of you because that's fucked up.
Yeah,
Do
no,
your job great, but don't let them overwork you. And And
yeah,
I don't know. I come across people, I'm telling you, in the kitchen, and I always try to tell them, like, nah, I wouldn't do that. You're doing it wonderful. You're doing amazing. You're doing way more than that other person next to you. And they're not Latino and they're getting by. So don't overwork yourself for something that they're not going to pay you back in. Because at the end of the day, you got to make money. That's another thing too. I hate when people call me a hippie. I hate when I get genreized in this like, oh, he's just laid back, smoke some weed. Nah, so I do all that, but before I do all that, I go to work, I get my shit done.
you hustle. That's it. You
Yeah,
hustle,
I
hustling.
I love working out. Like I gotta stay fit. I don't wanna belly on my stomach. Like, and then also I look at life as a stepping as a stair, as a ladder. okay, I see my ultimate goal. I don't share it with everyone. I don't think I share it with anyone at all, really. But I see that goal in my mind. So every job I take, every person I get to meet, it's all like, how are you getting me to my goal? How are you getting me to my next step? How are you getting me to what I want to achieve as what I believe is greatness?
Yeah.
And that's what I try to inspire people what I've done, and people younger than me and working in the same field as me, like, hey, don't get taken advantage of. Always stand up for yourself, stand up for what's right, and and realize what is your goal, because otherwise you're going to be stuck at a place working for 10, 20 plus years, and in the end you're not happy. Like, that's another thing. I always go to jobs. I've gone to work at fucking many jobs, and sometimes I don't last long because maybe they're not paying me right, or maybe I just don't feel right there, and they're paying me good, but money is, you need it to survive, but money to me, it doesn't make me happy. Money is what help me helps me get to my goal, but that's not going to stop me from saying, hey, this is not right for me, I gotta go. Deuces. Like,
Yeah, that's real.
yeah.
Um, so to close this off, uh, I want you to give a message to the listeners. That based off what you've been through, the things you've learned, like what's a good message that listeners can take from this to you know that they could use in real life.
Well, maybe I got like two messages. One was my first when I became vegan, and
Okay.
it was grow plants, eat plants, share plants, drink plants, smoke plants, be a plant, photosynthesize.
That's badass. Say it one more time.
Literally, grow plants, share plants, eat plants, drink plants, smoke plants, be a plant. And
Photosynthesis.
I literally I got that written down on a notebook. I carry notebooks. I got like three different notebooks. I got one in my pocket at always, because you got technology, you got a phone, you can write. I For me, technology is great. What if it goes down? My iPod, actually, I got 2,000 songs, and they all got deleted off my laptop.
I know you told me about it.
So,
You're
so
bummed.
that's technology. Yeah, that's technology for you. So I got a piece of paper and a pen that I carry around.
Yeah, yeah, me
And
too.
then another one is I actually I wish I had my little notebook. I didn't have it with me because I went in the pool.
Mhm.
But it says, no, I will quote it on the next one, but
Yeah, that's
but
cool.
overall, it's just, find your real inspiration, find what makes you happy, realize your goals as well, and realize, make them manageable. Don't say, I want to go be a millionaire, because I don't want to be a millionaire. I wouldn't want to be a millionaire. I mean, that would be great and stuff, but as Biggie or Diddy once said, more money, more problems, something like that. But
Mhm.
overall, just, find your happiness, find your goals, make them reasonable, and make sure the people you meet, the people you interact with, are people who are only radiating positivity, helping you become better. You're making them become better. You know, you can talk and hang out aside from smoking, aside from drinking, aside from, you can do multiple things. So therefore, you are just bettering yourself, and you're bettering the people around you, because at the end of the day, you are who you hang out with. So
Exactly, man.
you don't want to go and hang out with somebody that you can only do one thing with. You want to go hang out with somebody you can do everything with. And again, that's who I always try to find myself with. And at the end of the day, I mean, I have, like, the amount of people I met in New Zealand from US, I have this many friends. I got a lot of people I talk to and, associate with, but at the end of the day, you want to find people who are going to uplift you, and you're going to uplift them without even knowing it. And at the end of the day, you are bettering yourself, and you're bettering them, and you're achieving to your ultimate goal, and always making sure you're happy, because that is key. You want to wake up and be happy to go to work. Right now,
Yeah.
I'm not going to work. I'm on this quarantine, and I'm sad because I love going to work. I love it. Like, they love me. I got voted, and that's like my inspir. But I got voted peer of the year. Like, my coworkers voted me as employee of the year, and I hadn't even worked there a whole year.
And I bet it's because you're not just a coworker. You're a person that likes to interact and
Yeah,
have
and
good.
that's
So you know oh shit. Um. Yeah. I mean, there's nothing left to say. I mean, what you said was straight up true. It's the key to finding happiness. You gotta find people that inspire you, that you want to actually be with. You want to be around people that motivate you.
yes. That's what it is. I didn't use that word too, but I got it. I got it also written down. But yeah, motivation, because you got to be motivated. You got to be motivated to do everything, and you don't always need somebody to motivate you. I mean, it's good to have somebody to motivate you, but you're also motivating other people that later motivate you.
But,
And so that's what it is. Motivation. Have the motivation.
well, that's gonna. I think that's gonna be it for today. For
All right. And the next time we chat, I'm gonna bring out my little notebook and end off with a quote that, yeah, I got written down. But I like writing down quotes. I like writing down poems. I just like writing down in general. I got my travels written down, and in the blog I'll repost it, and
yeah, open it up.
also,
I want to check
yeah,
that out.
yeah, and I also got it written down in multiple notebooks, like I said.
All right, guys. Well, this is
Well, it was nice.
Nelson.
It was nice hanging out, Juan Carlos. Oh, fuck.
Well,
Oh,
I'm gonna stop the recording, but I'm not gonna hang up on you.
all right.
All right, guys. So this is it. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys got something out of this, and hope you guys come. Hope you guys come back next time. Thank you.